Welcome to episode 9 of Sports Talk with the Statsman. Hi, folks, I'm Paul Bruno, and I want to thank you for joining me on my YouTube channel at PB the Statsman. On this week's episode, I review week 3 of the NFL season. Well, this week we saw the fourth highest single game score as the Dolphins eked out a 70-20 victory over the Denver Broncos, and we haven't seen that single team total score since Washington did it way back in 1966. I've been telling people that Miami is my dark horse team this year. They were without their second wide receiver, Jalen Waddle, in this game, but that didn't seem to matter at all as Tua Tagovailoa directed the offense to 10 major scores on the day. Raheem Mostert and Devon Achane each got 4 TDs from the running back position, while Tyreek Hill and Robbie Chosen added 1 each from the wideout positions. There were, of course, a number of other top performances, and as usual, I'll highlight them here, beginning at the quarterback position. Justin Herbert led the QBs with a big fantasy score of 33.4 points, completing 40 of 47 throws for 405 yards and 3 TDs against the Vikings. He added 11 yards on 2 runs as well. Lamar Jackson did what Lamar Jackson does, and that's run and pass with equal aplomb. He was second with 32.2 points, with 202 yards through the air on 22 completions, while adding 101 yards and 2 TD scampers among his 14 running attempts. Tua Tagovailoa was actually third, despite directing the 70 burger here. 4 TD tosses and 23 completions for 309 yards were his line for the day. Kirk Cousins was once again very productive with 31.4 points for his club on a losing effort of a 28-24 score as the Vikings lost to the Chargers. He had 367 yards passing on 32 completions in 50 attempts, and he added 10 yards on 1 scamper as well. Pat Mahomes is expected to be among the top 5 week in, week out, and he's rounding into form, I think. He led his club to a 41-10 rout of the Bears, which included an appearance by Taylor Swift, fueling rumors of a budding romance with Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce. There's my Entertainment Tonight contribution for this week. Mahomes completed 24 tosses for 272 yards and 3 TDs. He added 28 yards on 3 running attempts as well. I'll throw in an honorable mention here too. Jordan Love of the Packers orchestrated a big fourth quarter comeback as Green Bay edged the Saints 18-17, completing 22 passes for 250 yards and 1 TD, adding 39 yards and scoring once in 9 rushing attempts too. At the running back position, I already mentioned the 4 TD games for Achane and Mostert, which gave them the 2 high scores among all running backs in the NFL this week. Achane, for his part, had 51.3 points on 18 rushes for 203 yards and added 4 catches for 30 yards, while Mostert had 45.2 points, 13 rushes for 82 yards, and 7 catches for 60 yards. And in other games where mere mortals played, Seattle Kenneth Walker produced 30.6 fantasy points in the Seahawks' 37-27 win at Carolina, with a pair of rushing attempts on TDs on 18 carries for 97 yards, while adding 59 yards on 3 receptions. 49ers running back Christian McCaffrey continued his productive ways with 85 yards and a TD on 18 rushing attempts. He added 34 yards on 5 receptions in a 30-12 win over the Giants. Among the wide receivers, Chargers' Keenan Allen was the top performer of all with 46 fantasy points this week. Not only did he haul in 18 of 20 targets for 215 yards, but he also threw a 49-yard TD pass on a gadget play. The Raiders' Devontae Adams had a big Sunday night game, hauling in 13 tosses for 172 yards and 2 TDs in a 23-18 loss to Pittsburgh. Adam Thielen was third with 11 grabs for 145 yards and a TD as the Panthers lost at Seattle. Tyreek Hill had 9 catches for 157 yards and a TD catch, as I mentioned, in that rout against the Broncos. He was shut down early, otherwise those numbers would have been much higher. Vikings' Justin Jefferson had 7 catches for 149 yards and 1 TD in a 3rd consecutive productive week. Remember, he was the consensus number 1 pick in the fantasy drafts at the beginning of the season. How are his owners feeling about that right now, I wonder? Among tight ends, Lions' Sam Laporta was the top dog with 22.4 points on 8 catches for 84 yards and 1 TD. Chiefs stud Travis Kelce was second best with 7 catches and 69 yards and 1 TD. And George Kittle rounds out the top 3 for the 49ers. He had 7 balls that he caught for 90 yards in total. In checking the waiver wires for people you might add in your leagues, I'm looking at the quarterback position. Houston's C.J. Stroud and Patriots' Mac Jones have been the most productive pivots through 3 weeks with 65.8 and 62.8 points respectively in the fantasy game. Raiders' Jimmy Garoppolo has 58.4 points as a third option to consider. At the running back position, Devon Achane will be a very popular ad this week as he had that explosive output this week. So be careful about bidding on him because, as I mentioned, Raheem Mostert rides in tandem with him, and it's not often you're going to get two bell cows in the same backfield. So tread cautiously there. The Saints running back Tony Jones might be a better option. He's had 2 straight solid weeks at lead position in the backfield there. Ditto for the Bills' Latavius Murray. I think I'll have a little more faith in Murray to continue that given his situation in Buffalo. At the wide receiver position, Denver's Marvin Mims has carved out a niche for himself with 2 straight big weeks. Chargers' Josh Downs has been a consistent contributor, averaging over 9 points per week, and I really like him given the quarterback strength at with that club. The Ravens' wide receiver Nelson Aguilar has been a solid veteran, and he's produced a couple of very good weeks in a row, so I like him if you're looking for depth at the wideout position there. At the tight end spot, Chargers' Donald Parham has had 2 strong weeks out of his 3 starts. Packers' Luke Musgrave is carving out a niche with his rookie quarterback and can say the same thing. And Cowboys' Jake Ferguson is getting a steady target dose in Dallas as was expected, and he's catching more of them now, so figures to be a consistent part of that offense going forward. In the 2 Monday night tilts, I see the Eagles rolling over the Buccaneers. Look for the Philly quarterback Jalen Hurts to have a strong connection to A.J. Brown and Dallas Goedert at the tight end position, but the Bucs will limit DeAndre Swift in the running game. And the Rams should prevail over a Bengals club that has Joe Burrow operating at less than 100%. In fact, it's not even certain that the Bengals pivot will start this game. I prefer a healthy Matthew Stafford to win a close one. The Bengals may lean on running back Joe Mixon to keep this one close, so he might be worth a play tonight too. That does it for my Week 3 review of the NFL action. Let me know what you think in the comments in the section below this clip. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons too. It's all free. Thanks for listening. I'll be back in a few days with a look at the other top news stories in the sports world on the next episode of Sports Talk with the Statsman.